Alright guys, welcome back to Strong Successful Male. So for today in the Ask SSM video series, I had a guy email me about a situation that he's in. Turns out this young guy had been hooking up for a while with a woman that turned out to be married. And he had absolutely no idea about this the entire time, and I believe him. And then when he found out about this, he's obviously trying to ignore her and keep his distance from her. But to no surprise, she's been relentless and bugging him and trying to get back in his life, even though he's saying pretty much stay the hell away from me. And he obviously feels bad because he would never do that to another guy. And now he wants to know, in my opinion, what he should do in this situation, even going so far as should he tell her husband, right? Because it turns out also you're going to see that he's not the only one that she's hooking up with as well. So I'm going to do this one because I think it's a very important one to cover, guys, because there are women out there, as you all well know, that could care less about who they hurt, that cheat on their boyfriends, cheat on their husbands, and if you're not careful with your relationship, guys, you may end up, unfortunately, with someone just like this. So you really got to obviously pay attention to who you're with, screening process, all that. And also, guys, for you guys that date and hook up, you got to find out also who you're involved with, because for all you know, she could be married or have a boyfriend or something like that, and you could end up hooking up with her, and next thing you know, some guy goes crazy and he attacks you and harms you, and you had no idea. So, important one to cover here. So he starts off. He says, "Hi SSM. I would like to start by thanking you for all the work you all the work you do and your dedication. Although I don't agree with everything you say, I can't but respect your devotion to the cause. My story is one that I would have happily erased in my mind if it didn't come back as hard as a boomerang thrown in the air. I just want to share this story with you, but if it is helpful, or if you have any criticisms on me or my actions, then I will happily take them." Guys, by the way, English is not his first language, so just bear with me as he writes this. He does his best here to write this, but there's obviously a few issues in the sentences. It all started in 2020 during the pandemic. I'm not an American, so from the small island I came from, lockdowns and isolations were not a thing. I just finished high school and decided to go to local university while waiting for a positive answer to one of my top choices. At first it was great, and for the most part I enjoyed it. I was well dressed, had a nice car, and the F-boy attitude, and a presentable face. I used to be the weird quiet kid during all my childhood and after-school activities in high school, and I decided to change that. Things were going great for me. I was 18 years old, and I would easily get some requests from women that are 16 to 24 years old. I can't say what they found attractive in me, if it was me, the car, or the image of the independent F-boy that I had built, but people started noticing me. Well, bro, it's probably all those things. You probably decide, you know what? I'm done being that guy I was when I was younger that was shy and awkward, and I'm just going to be myself and kind of maybe fake it until you make it. You're dressing better, you got the car, you got the attitude, and women are starting to notice. And as this is happening, you're feeling better, and you're putting that vibe out into the world. And now more and more women are noticing you and, attracted to you. Now, unfortunately, you attract a wrong one. He says, I was constantly in good company, hanging out with decently attractive women, and that is when I met her. She was having a seizure and was running out of breath. So I ran to get a doctor, and after that she came back and said to thank me. I dismissed it, saying, I didn't do it for you, and turned my back. Okay. I get that you're indifferent, but that's taking it to a whole new level, dude. I came across her days later, and we made eye contact. I proceeded to smile and say hi before totally ignoring her and talking to other women. I didn't say much of it, and as I had many options to explore. Until the day she sat next to me again on the stairs, we talked a bit, she cracked some jokes before I left to pick up my sisters. That day she asked for my phone number, which I gave her after she insisted to have it. So what do we got going on here? She's pursuing him. He's indifferent towards her, not a big deal. When she went to see him somewhere, she ran him somewhere, she smiled at him, he smiled back, and kept talking to other women. If she's a good-looking girl, and she's used to getting attention from guys, she's probably like, wait a second here, this guy isn't chasing after me? Oh, I'm suddenly attracted to him, so I'm going to go chase after him. And again, and giving him her number, etc., etc. Women are drawn to indifferent guys. It's like moth to a flame. Back at home, and as I went through my messages, I saw that she had already texted me. We started talking, and after hanging out for a week or so, I could see where this was going. We weren't dating at all, and I didn't spend $1 on her or anything. All I would do is make fun of her while talking, and she would follow me everywhere, which she did. She followed me to a beach nearby, and as things were going, she kissed me. We managed to hook up sometime after that, and it was great. But then things started getting weird. In action, she started crying, and when I asked her what was wrong, she just said that she'd been abused before and just remembered it. I just ignored it, and we continued. Little did I know, that was the real reason. Sometime after, she confessed to me, and just like a bomb, she dropped the news that she was actually married. And there you go. You're hooking up with a married woman, you had no idea. And imagine if she was with the wrong guy that came after you and kicked the crap out of you, or worse. And you'd have no idea. Think she cares? And just wait. Just wait, there's going to be the typical blame it on him thing, right? I was shocked and disgusted for what just happened. Ask what just happened? So that's why she was crying, I said. I am far from being a saint, but I would never stab a brother in his back. Yeah, I believe you. No guy should do that. In my opinion, guys, if you knowingly hook up with another woman and some other dude's girlfriend or wife, I think you're a freaking scumbag, and you deserve whatever happens to you. That ain't cool, okay? Because that's the shit that women do. We gotta be a little bit better than that, okay? So not cool if you knowingly are hooking up with some other dude's chick. And believe me, it will come back to bite you in the ass. He says, so I started taking my distance from her. I managed to ignore her and overcome my desire to get on the monkey backflip with her. And soon I received a positive response and moved out of the country. Just what I needed. It's a bit weird because most of the time we hear only the perspective of the cheater or the one who got cheated on, but never the third party. And it gets worse. Quickly afterwards, I learned that she'd been cheating on him with several other men and was proudly bragging about it. I just told myself, if she can do that to him to be with you, she will do that to you for another one. Right. She always got daddy issues and she needs constant attention validation, or she's a nympho, I don't know what, but multiple dudes. I hope you wore protection, my man. And this goes to show you guys, you got to wear protection for you guys who are dating pickup relationships, because you never know. You could have gotten something that she got from some other dude. As I couldn't stand seeing her, I quickly started to dry text, and sometimes after the conversation died. And I wasn't replying anymore to her messages either. He says, remember the reference I made about the boomerang? Well, she came back as motivated as I was when I threw her. Months later, she took to 2 different phone numbers and texted me. It was last week. I then reminded her that she was married and that she should respect her husband, which she smiled and calmly said, oh, but he means nothing to me. I really missed you, though. I think all of us know that in our lives have met or been acquainted with one gal who we knew was married or had a boyfriend, and she was cheating on him left and right. I can think of this one gal now like it was yesterday who I knew 4 different dudes that I was acquainted with or friends with. They were hooking up with her. And she was married and had 3 kids. Okay, she was a piece of garbage. And whenever she talked to me, I was like, whew. I'd make the sign of the cross to keep her away from catching something. Pure garbage. And these poor suckers have no idea. It's amazing. He says, what should I do? Should I find out who her husband is and tell him? I'm a bit confused. I'm young and not quite mature to deal with this type of situation. And for those of you out there who are interested in marriage, do some research on your loved ones. You'll be amazed by the amount of secrets they can hide. I hope you're doing well, and thank you for reading till the end. Sorry if my English is not quite up to the standard. I'm more comfortable with other languages. Well, no worries. Did a good enough job. So what should you do? Well, the first thing you should do is block her on everything. I know it sounds like you have, but have no more communication with this woman whatsoever. She is trouble. She brings nothing but turmoil to your life. And your question about should he tell her husband? Well, you know the saying, no good deed goes unpunished. So I'd be very careful. He has a right to know, of course. But, you know, the old don't shoot the messenger. I don't want to see something happen to you if you try to tell him what happens. Because he could just immediately, instead of blaming her, take it out on you. So if you're going to do that, be very careful. You have to make that decision. I can't do that for you. And you can figure out a way to deliver the message. But I think he should certainly know, but because she's a piece of garbage. But I want you to take care of you because you wrote me and you're a viewer here. I take care of my crew, my audience here. But you need to cut her off completely. If she doesn't leave you alone, well, you can find other ways to handle that if necessary. But going forward, be careful who you hook up with. Be careful who you date and all that. And like you said at the end, yeah, you never know for your relationship, guys, what your wife or girlfriend or whatever can do. So you need to always be watching out for the red flags, things that don't quite add up. When she's always on her phone all the time, when she's mysteriously out, can't explain what she's doing, things like that. Guys got to pay attention. I hope that doesn't happen to any of you guys that watch this, but sadly, it does happen a lot. So yeah, in these situations, these things can happen, okay? And it's not your fault you start hooking up with some girl that has a boyfriend or husband, but it is your fault once you know about that and you keep doing that, okay? You need to cut all ties with those types like that and handle accordingly how you think best with her boyfriend or husband. That's for anybody watching this thing in this particular situation here. So, all right, guys, that's a quick one. That is it for today. Be sure to comment down below. Let this guy know what you think about this. And be sure to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe. And I'll catch you next time.